Aspa Tokwene. Suicide. Oga Mari. Awe na ne Mari yana dan man Aspa. A gane Aspa Usmogu to Boropi to Lilu. AKA Dila Mankind. I no go die to where my God call me. I no get as one be where no be before.
No be lie. Kowa ya za bro.
Kama ka rike dan dole.
Wallahi ba sa yi ko da kayan siya da mana
wasane wa.
Asu asane. Buro ba. Aganta. Buro ba. Duru wa salatin harna dan buro ba. Alafiya da wasi bora. Basu ba kayan su wallahi. Basu ba kayan su garo. Basu ba kayan su wallahi. Ga ku mutanen Maiduguri wallahi. Kowa ce uwarsa madan ce muganta a coci. Kowa ya zaburo a bar ke karaso da uwarsa.
This news report contains a mix of claims, updates, and misinformation concerning the Biafran struggle and related conflicts in southeastern Nigeria. There are reports that the insecurity in the southeast, which some claimed was caused by unknown gunmen and attributed to Biafran agitators, is not true. Rather, the insecurity in the southeast is caused by terrorists who disguise themselves as Nigerian soldiers. These are terrorists from the north which are sent to Biafra land in the disguise of Nigerian soldiers with a pretense to maintain peace. Instead, they kill our youths, rape our women, destroy our home, properties, and tries to occupy our territory. This is the reason why Simon Ekpa is trying everything possible to make sure that Nigerian soldiers leave Biafra land so that peace and normalcy can return back to the region. The news references to Simon Ekpa as a central figure leading to the Biafra movement and the role of the Prime Minister of Biafra in declaring the movement's direction. There are allegations that external forces like the Nigerian military and government officials are actively undermining Biafran self-determination efforts. Reports of violent attacks allegedly involving Nigerian military personnel and Fulani militias targeting Biafran communities in states like Imo, Enugu, and Abia are rampant. And there are also claims of ongoing killings, injuries, and property destructions in the southeast region by these terrorists in Nigerian military uniform. There are assertions that the Nigerian government and northern politicians are financing or enabling violence in southeastern Nigeria, and the criticism of the Nigerian media, which many describe as complicit in suppressing the truth about the situation in Biafra. There are calls for international attention for the Biafran plight, including appeals to Finland, which is Simon Ekpa's place of residence, and the broader global community to free him and support the Biafran movement. There are suggestions that international mechanisms or observers should intervene to prevent further atrocities. There is also comparisons in the Nigerian Civil War or Biafran War of 1967 to 1970 and suggesting parallels between past and current events in the southeastern Nigeria. There are encouragements for Biafrans to prepare to defend themselves against perceived aggressors. Some of the claims, particularly about the Nigerian government or military rules, may reflect the perspectives of Biafran advocacy groups. The accuracy of these claims requires verifications from independent sources. The emphasis on seeking external support highlights the movement's strategic pivots to gain legitimacy and international backing. However, People are advised to cross-check the allegations of violence and government involvement with reliable, independent news source. They also encourage dialogue between the Nigerian government and Biafran representatives to address grievances and avoid further bloodshed. Let me tell you a story about a place in southeastern Nigeria called Biafra, a region with a deep history, resilient people, and a dream of self-determination. For years, Biafrans have been fighting for freedom, and while their struggle is not new, the challenges they face today echo the pains of the past. This story is not just about the land, but about the lives, hopes, and voices of the people who call it home. If you have heard the term unknown gunmen before, you might think it is about some faceless individuals causing havoc in the southeast of Nigeria. But let me ask you this: what if these so-called unknown gunmen aren't who you think they are? What if the chaos blamed on these mysterious figures is actually being orchestrated by people who are supposed to protect their citizens? This is the allegations many Biafrans make today. The claim is that some of the insecurity in Biafra land isn't caused by Biafrans or agitators for independence, but by terrorists disguised as Nigerian soldiers. These soldiers, reportedly from the northern part of Nigeria, come into Biafra land pretending to maintain peace, but instead leave behind a trail of violence, killing young men, raping women, and destroying homes. It is a heartbreaking reality for many who live there. In the midst of all this chaos, one name keeps coming up: Simon Ekpa. He is a controversial figure, seen by some as a hero of the Biafra movement and by others as a troublemaker. Based in Finland, Simon Ekpa often speaks passionately about the need for Nigerian soldiers to leave Biafra land. He argues that their presence is the root cause of the region's problems and that peace can only return when they are gone. As the Prime Minister of the Biafra Republic government, Simon Ekpa has taken it upon himself to lead the movement for Biafra's restoration. He doesn't just speak about the issue, he calls for action, urging Biafrans to stand firm and prepare to defend themselves against what he calls invaders. The Nigerian military isn't just accused of being part of the problem, it is alleged to be at the very heart of it. There are widespread reports of violent attacks involving Nigerian military personnel and Fulani militias targeting communities in states like Imo, Enugu, and Abia. Entire villages have been burned, farmers attacked on their lands, and families forced to flee from their homes. Imagine a farmer tending to his crops, hoping for a bountiful harvest, only to be attacked by men in uniforms. These same uniforms that should symbolize safety and protection. This isn't just a single story, it is a recurring nightmare for many in the southeast. For those who know the history of the Nigerian Civil War, also called the Biafran War, this event feels like a genocide whereby some region tried to eliminate a particular region in a country. The war, which lasted from 1967 to 1970, was a dark chapter for Biafrans who faced starvation, displacement, and death. Today, many Biafrans believe the same forces that orchestrated the war are still at play. People like former Nigerian leaders who were involved in the Civil War, figures like General Yakubu Gowon and Olusegun Obasanjo, are accused of turning a blind eye to the current crisis. Some believe they are even enabling it. The parallels are chilling, and they raise the question: has anything really changed since 1970? If you turn on the news in Nigeria, you might hear a very different story about what is happening in Biafra land. Many accuse the Nigerian media of being complicit in hiding the truth. They argue that the media are controlled by politicians and businessmen who have a vested interest in keeping the narrative one-sided. When a farmer is killed or a village is attacked, the headlines rarely captures the full picture. Instead, the blame is often placed on groups like the Indigenous People of Biafra (IPOB) or the Eastern Security Network (ESN), painting them as the aggressors. But Biafrans argues that this is a deliberate attempt to discredit their struggle and justify the military's actions. In the face of these challenges, Biafrans are looking beyond Nigeria for help. They are calling on the international community to step in and stop what they see as a slow genocide. From Finland, where Simon Ekpa resides, to global human rights organization, the plea is the same. Pay attention to what is happening in Biafra land. Some activists even compare the current situation to Ukraine, where international support played a crucial role in resisting aggression. They argue that Biafra deserves the same level of attention and assistance. Despite the bleak situation, Biafrans remain hopeful. They believe that their dream of independence is worth fighting for, no matter how long it takes. For them, Biafra is more than a piece of land. It is an idea, a symbol of freedom and self-determination. People are coming together to support one another, whether it is by helping victims of violence or raising awareness about the issues. Videos and testimonies shared online show the resilience of a people determined not to be silenced. So what is the way out of this crisis? Some believe that dialogue between the Nigerian government and Biafra representatives is the only way to end the bloodshed. Others think that international intervention is necessary to hold the Nigerian military accountable and ensure justice for the victims. Whatever the solution, one thing is clear: the voices of Biafrans cannot be ignored. Their struggle is a reminder that freedom is not just a word, it is a fight, a journey, and a dream worth pursuing. As we reflect on this story, let us remember the people at the heart of it: the farmers trying to make a living, the children dreaming of a better future, and the activists risking everything for what they believe in. Their story is one of resilience, hope, and an unwavering belief in the possibility of a better tomorrow. This is the story of Biafra, a story still unfolding, and one that the world must not overlook. However, according to the tweet of Prince Oscar Ugweze official, which reads, "Breaking news: 4 police officers and 5 Nigerian military killed in the Anambra state. This night, men are on the move in Imo and Abia. The evangelism continues till Prime Minister at Simon Ekpa chooses to address Biafrans. The blood of the Zoo Nigeria military and paramilitary joined with the saboteur will continue to fade." Another tweet from Simon Ekpa Akparawa reads, "The Islamic terrorist government of Nigeria has designed to eliminate the entire Biafra people, but don't be surprised, because this is why Simon Ekpa's led Biafra government is fighting for survival and the restoration of the United States of Biafra. Support the Biafra government now for the Biafra Defense Forces to do their work by eliminating the terrorists." Another tweet by Dr. Kemi Lawrence, an investigative journalist, reads, "Urgent: there are no unknown gunmen in the southeast of Nigeria. only foot soldiers of the northern politicians who are alleged terrorist financiers. If Tinubu does not fish them out, he risks 2027 even more.
Nigerian journalist Dr. Kemi Lawrence for Kemi Talks Media. It's Saturday, November 23rd, 2024. Let's talk about what's going on in Southeast Nigeria. I'm going to make it clear as much as possible for everybody to understand what's going on in this video and for you to make it viral and spread it all across the internet to Nigerians. Nigerians abroad are very, very important as well. There has been a wave of buying all over Southeast Nigeria. People are being buyed left, right, and center. 4 years ago, I told you about some plans and orchestrated methods to buy Southeast Nigerians, specifically the Igbos, and no one believed me. 4 years later, you're not believing me after they wiped out a lot of people in Ebonyi State, Enugu State, and so on and so forth. Yesterday, a farmer was quiet on his farm after harvesting yam, cassava, and cocoyam and everything. At the end of the day, if one farmer is spied in America, do you know what's going to happen? 3 farmers spied, several injured. That's the headline of the Nigerian media. And you should know by now that the Nigerian media is owned by politicians and businessmen. There are people who are strategically placed in Igbo land to buy Igbos. Okay, it's a new method of what happened during the Biafran War. The people that orchestrated the Biafran War are still alive. And they've led Nigeria. General Gowon is alive. General Obasanjo is alive. General Buhari is alive. Everybody in that war, many of the strategic people are alive. And they've led Nigeria again and again. And they're watching this happen. This is the Biafra War again, secretly. But all the killings that have been going on in the metropolitan areas of Igbo land, they stick it to IPOB. They stick it to Masab. They stick it to ESN. They stick it to all the Nnamdi Kanu groups. And they feel that we don't know what's going on. People know what's going on. They're not going to talk. The media is the wrong person to even go meet. The Nigerian media is the worst in the world. I don't know if I'm the first to say it. Maybe other people have said it. Not because they're just owned by the politicians and businessmen. And the journalists in there are puppets to these people. They're puppets. They can't do anything unless they do what they are told. They know the truth in what I am talking about, and they're not going to tell the ordinary Nigerians. The DSS. You are supposed to be the Homeland Security for Nigeria. Checking the homeland. People are being buyed left, right, and center in Nigeria. North, south, east, west. The defense headquarters. Always shouting on Twitter. Always shouting on X. No action. We cannot have a defense headquarters and a military not doing enough for Nigerians. Nigerians are getting bite every day. And this has to stop. The international community gives you money to fight all this insecurity, but what do? You share it amongst yourself. We've seen that with Jonathan's administration and others. Nigerian governors are sponsoring terrorism, they're financing terrorism, and all you could do is go arrest one Simon Ekpa in Finland? Somebody that's just doing his internet propaganda. That's all you can do. That's the best you can do. At least he's given some awareness to what's going on. Everybody has their own groups. My message today is about what happened yesterday. All right? What happened yesterday in Enugu? In some of the communities, there was violence. Fulani militia showed up. I don't like calling them herdsmen because they're not herdsmen. Herdsmen are people that actually guard their cows and feed and graze, without any violence. Farmers and herders are supposed to be working hand in hand. These are Fulani militias, strategically placed in Igbo land to buy the people. They did it with Ebonyi. Now, you see that governor over there in Ebonyi State, that new governor, the young guy, he's doing so much work in that state. He has revamped that state so much. Okay, I even heard he built a new radio station, as in the government radio station. He revamped it and everything so that the media can be in the forefront of what's going on in Ebonyi State. I know the former governor was very old and things. People lost their lives in that state. At least that's one governor doing well. What about Enugu? What about Imo? What about all these places? Imo State, I've told you guys, it's Fulani herdsmen running your state and buying you one by one. Who is next?
However, We have another tweet by Nikki Agnes which reads, "Armed herdsmen attack Enugu State community, kill 3 farmers, injure others. Please, at Fin government, at Alestop, free at Simon Ekpa. These people are after our lives in the southeast. See how they slaughter innocent people in Biafra land."
Ndị kọrọ abụọ ishig oke kagụrụ n'ọnụ ọgụrụ sorry ladugbo ọzọ ọ bụ na mmegidego zọta ndụ na ọ bụ na hafụrụ ha mụfa everything ka ime. I thank God because that place in Russia, down yes.
This is a picture of our brother from Omulo. We made a victory yesterday within the flag. You can see him now. This particular hand is almost that now up or way off. I went to the parkland to see him today. So I'm making this video so that anybody that have help can render help to them. Any amount is not small.
The tweet from QTV, that is at Kizi Uzoma, reads, "See them, the terrorist army in Biafra land, swearing because they know Biafra land will continue swallowing them one after another. Biafrans are fighting to be alive in Nigeria, and the Biafran self-preservation is a must in the United States of Biafra."
Aspa chokwane. Suicide. Oga Umari. Awe na ne madi yana dan man aspa aga ne aspa usmogu to borrow pit to Lilu, aka dealer mankind. I no go die to where my God call me. You no get as one be where you never be before.
No be lie. Kowa ya za bro.
Kama ka rike dan duwa.
Wallahi ba sa yi ko da kayan siya da mana
Asu asane. Buro ba. Aganta. Buro ba. Duru wa salatin harna dan buro ba. Alafiya da wasi bora. Basu ba kayan su wallahi. Basu ba kayan su garo. Basu ba kayan su wallahi. Ga ku mutanen Maiduguri wallahi. Kowa ce uwarsa madan ce muganta a church. Kowa ya zaburo a barke karaso da uwarsa.
However, another tweet from Brian Williams reads, at Alestop in Finland, is there any native Finnish that are seen as non-citizen of the country or second class? That is how Biafrans treated, and they show it in the affairs of this country. This man was kidnapped by military, taken to unknown place in order to extort from him.
You put me for uncompleted building. That place is la police station. You put me for uncompleted building. You say make I pay 100,000. I don't get it. Have you completed police station? You can't go.
However, another tweet from QTV, that is at Kizi Uzoma, reads, just few weeks ago, I made this declaration that we must be prepared to protect, defend Biafra against the federal government's attacks. Now you can see evil of the country trying to bring Biafra self-determination into disarray. That won't happen. Stay strong. At Ngozi Ora.
To the Israel, the Biafra will need weapons as well to protect themselves. And I hope the world will not look back and think that if the situation of what played out when the British was fighting the Biafra, this time around the game is changing over. We will not accept as Yoruba that the government will continue to attack the Biafra. Should the government attack the Biafra, we would also call for a defense to support the Biafra when that time comes. We will make sure that we put everything in mechanism from the media to everybody on the ground to support the Biafra when the federal government attacks them. If the federal government attacks the Biafra, we have every right to protect them and defend them inside their territory and outside their territory. We will make sure we do that. So be warned that if the federal government attacked the Biafra, we would have no choice to defend and support the Biafra against invaders, because that is what is called invaders. So let us all prepare for what is about to happen. We will support the Biafra if the government attack them. If the government use weapons to attack them, we will carry arms to also protect the Biafra against the attackers. Listen to this very well. If the federal government attack the Biafra, we would have no choice to be armed to the teeth and go around in there and protect them, because we would not allow what the British did in 1967 anymore again in the territory. We will make sure that we've sent people down there to fight, just as we know when the fight of the Ukraine started, they were asking for support. So the Biafra government, be rest assured that Koiki Media will continue to tell the international community that you need enough weapon to protect yourself as your declaration is getting closer. Let's go back quickly.
This is the end of our news update. Please click the icon on the top right corner of your screen to watch my next video. You will enjoy it. I will see you again in my next update. Enjoy the rest of your day. Goodbye for now.